Episode 7 of Ultraman Omega, Caught a Cold, is quasi-unremarkable. To be more correct, there are things that could be remarked upon if you really wanted to, if you really had to. If you were pressing yourself to say, I gotta talk about this episode, then yeah, there are definitely things you could say. I don't want to say them, I don't want to talk about them, and I gotta be honest, this is another weak episode, and I don't really understand what's going on here. It feels like the tone is kind of funny. It feels like there's not a lot of like cohesion, and I don't understand why that's the case. Like, you could argue that it's finding its footing, it's finding its voice, whatever. I don't really think so. I think it has a strong voice. I think it has a strong footing. I'm not demanding that every episode be this amazing mythic episode like Miko and Mikoto, which I will still go back to and say that's a fabulous episode. And like, I'm grateful for Omega existing, if only for that one episode. But there's kind of so much wrong with it that I don't really know where to start. I don't really know what to identify as the core problem, other than it kind of doesn't move anything forward. And I don't really, I mean, it does move things forward, but it moves things forward in a very mechanistic way, which is that there has to be another meteor kaiju, which we get in Trigoron, which is a cool name. And it's a cool looking little guy, little suit, little statue, little creature, little toy. And that's great, wonderful. But by the end of it, there's this whole thing about how Saruto jumps on Kosei's back because they're friends, and he's like, oh yeah, we are friends. And I thought episode 3, where they had that really, I think it was episode 3, they had that really weak fight, established their friendship in a very subtle way. I mean, they had a fight, and then they got over the fight through action and through scenes and through things being cool. And that was really neat. And I enjoyed it. That might have been episode 4. I mean, it doesn't matter. And it was cool because while the fight was ridiculous, in my opinion, the resolution for it was good. We understand that they can have differences, Kosei and Saruto. They can have differences, but they can also be friends, and they can have this relationship that gets over those differences, and that's nice. It's nice to see done, even if I didn't like the full context of it. But you're sick, stay in bed, don't fight this thing alone, is not a good setup for, oh look, now we're friends, or I know we're friends, or I'm affirming that we're friends because you helped me while I was sick. Well, he was already helping you while you were sick. Kosei was nursing Saruto back to health, and Ayuma was helping too, but Kosei was primarily the guy acting, and this like resolution kind of comes out of nowhere, which is interesting because episode 6 had a resolution like that where everything's happy even though one of the kaiju is dead, and we put the two of them together, a living one and a dead one. Yay! That's not a yay kind of thing. That's nothing to celebrate over. And also, this conclusion at the end of the episode comes out of nowhere. And there's this whole thing with the streamer going on, and I think he looks older. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he's, older than me. And he's dressed in a very weird, very loud, very obnoxious outfit, which is funny because I just talked about Ultraman having like a more subdued look to it, generally speaking. But that costume, he's called Wolfie. He's supposed to be like Mr. Beast. I don't know that Mr. Beast dresses weird. I've only seen him in like a, blue t-shirt and jeans or whatever. So I don't know. I don't follow him. I don't know anything about him really. But I don't think he dresses loud. But like, I don't know, Beast, Wolfie, is that kind of a connection? Like, is there commentary about streamers being made? I know, or I've heard of some streamers doing like very rude, very culturally insensitive things in Japan in different places, whether that be a certain forest or touching statues in a weird way and whatever. So like, I don't know if like that's I don't know. I know this episode's like, hey, Uh, the Japanese government called up. Who's the prime minister? She was a lady that was in like a metal band. Anyway, she called them up and she's like, "Hey, Subaraya Production, I don't know why she's Mexican all of a sudden. I need you to, I need you to take down somebody for me. I need you to take down the YouTube streamers. They're terrible people." So yeah, I don't know if like that's what happened. I don't really know what this episode was going for. And therefore, it's frustrating to me. And there's not really much to say about it. Seeing Gamora again is cool. You know, it's a great kaiju, classic kaiju. Always cool to see him show up. Called the Gamorasaurus this time. One thing, again, that was confusing to me is they were disputing whether or not the kaiju came from space. And Soroto said, "Nope, this kaiju's been here for a while. On this planet that didn't have kaiju before I came to it." Again, it's not that the show's losing its voice. It's that it's like willfully contradicting itself and not being consistent. And I just don't understand why. I think I need to look more closely at who's writing the show, who the head writer is, and maybe the producer. I don't know. Like Taguchi gets a lot of praise for Blazar and Zet being what they are, I think. And I'm just wondering what's with the weird inconsistencies in this show. What did you think about Ultraman Omega Episode 7? Did you dig it? Do you think I'm crazy for disliking it? What was the best part of it? What was the worst part? I'm curious to hear what other people have to say about this episode. Or is it something that you forgot existed because it was just so unremarkable? I'd like to hear that, and you can find links to me talking about the rest of Omega in the pinned comment. You can find other things there. What are you going to find? I don't know. You have to look and find out for yourself. Until next time, folks, this is MJ with Henshin Inspection and Going Ultra, signing out.